Yes, villagers. Today we're going to be talking about 4 things that you did not know was trauma or traumatizing. If you want to find out if your view is included among the 4, you are in the right place. If you're new to this channel, welcome to our village. If you're a returning villager, welcome as well. So, let's get into it. Welcome to Garden of the Mind, where we reduce stress, improve our health and fitness, and improve our financial IQ every episode. If you're not new to the show, you probably heard me say that I subscribe to Oprah Winfrey's definition of trauma being once you experience it, you cannot go back to living life the way you did before the trauma. Trauma flips the script and changes all of the rules for what you thought you knew and understood. There are several life events that could happen that probably don't really seem too traumatizing. Event number 1, moving. Moving on the surface probably doesn't seem that traumatizing because you're just going from one place to another place. However, if we add a little bit more complexity and say, are you moving because you want to move? Or are you moving because you have to move? That also changes how you interpret that. When you are moving from one place to another place, your entire life changes. You don't know if people are going to like you where you are. You don't know if you're going to fit in. You don't know if you're going to be able to make friends. You don't know what you're going to do for fun once you get there. There are so many different unknowns, and that sometimes can add up to a lot of stress and anxiety in our head. Not to mention just the regular moving that you have to do in terms of packing up your items and belongings and taking them to another place. If you've ever moved before, it can seem like forever. You think that you have it all done. You think all I have to do is throw this in a bag or throw that in a bag. And then 2 days later, you're still looking around and there's still belongings all over the place. So moving can certainly be one of those things that can be traumatizing. Event number 2, getting fired. Getting fired usually can rock the bedrock of what you think and believe. From the time that we are young, we are socialized to believe that in order for you to get fired, it has to be for some reason and some fault of your own. So if you happen to be in one of those situations where you are fired because you don't fit in with the culture or you are not consistent with the vision of the new regime, that can still take a mental toll on us because we still replay the video in our mind and try to figure out what we could have done differently to prevent the outcome of us being fired. Should we have went to that dinner that we were invited to? Should we have said this to this employee in that way? There are so many different things that we continue to play out in our minds and saying, if we did something different, then maybe the outcome of us being fired would have been different. Event number 3, divorce. Divorce rips families apart. From the time that we are younger, we learn in storybooks that you get married and you live happily ever after. If you get married as an adult and you don't live happily ever after, and that is not your outcome because you are going through a divorce, it can appear to feel like a failure on your part because you put so much into this marriage and there are so many hopes and it represents stability. When that stability is rocked, you don't know so many different things. You don't know where you're going to live. You don't know how you're going to survive with one income if you had 2 incomes. You don't know how to get along without someone who you've been together with for so long or someone who you believe to be your soulmate. All of this can take a mental toll on not just the people who were married, but also the children and the pets as well. So no one leaves unscathed in a divorce. Event number 4, watching violence. Usually the first time we see either violent crime or 2 adults fighting or some other violence, it can be traumatizing to us the first time. Now, if it continues to happen over and over again, then we start to become desensitized to it, but it still can have triggering effects when we are watching it over and over again. Now, we can also look at how that applies to the news. If we are watching a violent act in the news and we watch this act over and over again, it can be particularly triggering to us because our mind doesn't realize that we're watching a video. Our mind sees these images and interprets them as real. I believe one of the best ways to release some of the trauma that we've experienced is through talk therapy. There might be some other way that you can get this trauma from inside your body outside, possibly the arts or something else, but whatever it is that you do, it has to be focused on the removal of trauma or the expression of what it is that you experienced. It's far easier to deal with trauma outside of yourself, meaning that you talk about it, you write about it, you draw about it, you sing about it, you use the arts or some other form to allow you the expression that you may not have when it comes to talk. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you want to know when I post, which is Wednesday, click on that notification bell. You get that ding on your phone and you know that a new video is waiting for you. And remember, thoughts are actions, words have power, and actions have consequences. I'll see you next week. I'll see you then.